So he went to one lender and they valued it at 300. He went again to a different lender. Again, second lender came back and it was at 310. So again, didn't really work out. Third time lucky we were hoping for. And lo and behold, the valuation came back in at 310. So exactly what he had previously. For the fourth and final time, and lo and behold, we got the valuation that he was looking for. We got that 360,000, so 50,000 higher than he had achieved with the other lenders and valuers. Hello and welcome back to the Bayer Financial YouTube channel. We have had a bit of a break, but we're back. So I thought I'd start off with our 12 days of Christmas for 2025. This year we're looking at some case studies, so clients that we've worked with this year where we've helped them achieve something that they have really struggled with, whether that's before they've got to us, like a tricky situation to deal with, or whether there's been some issue during the mortgage process which we have had to work hard to deal with. So these are real life examples for you. It's not always plain sailing, but I think it's really important that when you've got a good team around you, you can see that these things are achievable. So case study number one for you, a client had come to us having been to a previous broker previously. So he had gone to his existing broker, he had purchased the property, he had done a refurbishment on an HMO, it was an Article 4 area in Liverpool, and he was trying to refurbish that in order to refinance and raise some capital back. He had borrowed some money from an investor, so it's really important he got the money back to be able to give back to his investor. And also he then wanted to move on and prove that this was a viable model in order to duplicate that and move on and purchase more properties in the area and do the same thing. So the broker previously had put him with two different lenders because the valuation had not come back the way that he needed it to on the first one. So it's a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom property in Article 4 in Liverpool. I would expect an investment value if you go to the right lender in that situation. Not everyone's going to give you an investment value in that scenario. So he went to one lender and they valued it at 300. That obviously wasn't enough for him. So he went again to a different lender. Again, the broker suggested that he would be able to get an investment value on that property. Again, second lender came back and it was at 310. So again, didn't really work. He approached me as a recommendation from a business colleague to see what we could do. Now, I gave him a couple of different options. He was very rate conscious, and I think that's where it had sort of slipped up previously. The broker that he had been working with wasn't used to working with HMOs. He was used to working with more sort of standard properties and buy-to-lets. Didn't really understand the nuances that come with HMOs, particularly smaller ones. So, you know, when you've got a 7, 8, 9, 10 bedroom HMO, you're likely to get an investment value on that. It's got sewage and areas planning. It's a much more straightforward situation. Where you've got smaller HMOs, so 5 and 6 bedroom properties, it is more difficult to place. You've got to go to a lender who will allow the valuer to value it on that basis. And you've got to understand how the valuer is going to value that property. So it's not a given that any 5 or 6 bedroom HMO with those lender options will give you an investment value. It needs to be something that would be sold on as an HMO. So if you've seen my videos previously, you'll see that I've spoken about this before. Just to recap it, if it's in Article 4 area, then you're at a huge advantage, particularly where the council are not granting planning on new HMOs. So people will pay a premium to purchase that property. If it's not in Article 4, you need to be a bit more picky. Generally, you need 6 bedrooms, all en suites. It needs to be what I would call overdeveloped. So a property that would be sold on as an HMO rather than a family home. So you've got 6 large bedrooms, you've got en suites, perhaps kitchenettes, 2 hobs or 2 cookers, you've got multiple fridges, a laundry space, all those things that go into creating something which is definitely an HMO and would be sold on as that. So this property didn't have that, but it was in Article 4, it was in Liverpool, and that is an area where you will struggle to get planning for a new property. So I gave the client 2 options, and there was about a 1% difference between the 2 in interest rate. So he was a rate conscious client. He was trying to achieve, well, what everyone's trying to achieve, I suppose, the unicorn product, which is those low rates and still achieving that investment value. But as we all know, these things are not that straightforward. If you're going to go for those low rate options, the chances are you're not going to achieve that investment value. So we did try that, third time lucky we were hoping for, put it in with that lender, and lo and behold, the valuation came back in at 310, so exactly what he had previously. So I spoke to him and explained this and said, look, if you really want the choice over that valuer, if you want to achieve those figures that you're looking for, you need to be prepared to pay those interest rates and go to the lender that's going to give you those options. So we went to that lender, fourth lender. By this point, the client has spent a lot of money on valuation fees, on application fees with lenders. It's not cheap going through that process time and time again. But we tried it for the fourth and final time, and lo and behold, we got the valuation that he was looking for. We got that 360,000, so 50,000 higher than he had achieved with the other lenders and valuers, which was a great win. It gives him 37,500 extra in his pocket. It means that he can pay off his investor. It means that he's proven that model works. And that's, I think, the key piece of information here. His whole model is around adding value to properties in Liverpool, pulling out that cash in order to pay back investors or go again, or a bit of both. And with the valuations that he had got prior to coming to me, he had sort of proven to himself that that model didn't work, which is not ideal. So I have allowed him to then replicate this with other properties in the area and proved that that model does work. So yeah, so he achieved 37,500 extra. We could have saved him so much time on his existing mortgage product had he done that to start with. So that's a big sort of thing to consider when you are thinking about what to do and who to go for. And with the lender that we went to, the client doesn't need their own legal fees, so we saved him around £1,500 in his own legals as well. So all in all, a win-win, which ideally we'd have done a few months before, but you know, we live and learn. And he's come back to us since, and we will replicate that again and again. So really good lesson in finding the right lender who allows the right valuer, and also understanding what goes into that valuation process so that you know that you're not overpaying on a valuation or overpaying on a mortgage product for something that you don't actually need, but equally going to the right lender when that is applicable. Hope you join me tomorrow for day 2. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also give us a follow on Instagram. We've got plenty more property updates on there for you.